Well, Nintendo just dropped 4 classic games into Nintendo Switch Online. We'll take a look at these 4 games and why one of them is considered one of the hardest games of all time. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we'll start here with the announcement from Nintendo of America over on X. These NES and Game Boy games are now available to play for Nintendo Switch Online members. For the NES, we have Gaiden II, The Dark Sword of Chaos, and Battletoads. And then for the Game Boy, we have Kid Icarus, The Myth of Monsters, and Bionic Commando. So we'll start here with what's probably considered one of the hardest games of all time, and that's Battletoads. It was released for the NES in 1991 and was developed by Rare. And this beat 'em up follows Zit, Rash, and Pimple, 3 heroic toads, not Ninja Turtles, but heroic toads, assigned to escort a princess back to her home planet when Pimple and the princess are suddenly ambushed and kidnapped by the evil Dark Queen. After receiving their distress signal, Rash and Zit travel back to their mentor, Professor T-Bird, to Ragnarok's world where the Dark Queen has hidden her massive ship, the Gargantua, because that's exactly what I would name a large ship. The remaining Battletoads descend to the planet's surface to fight through a series of dangerous environments including caves, ice caverns, fiery landscapes, and notorious high-speed obstacle stages, all to reach the Dark Queen's stronghold where you battle her minions and overcome deadly traps along the way. And Battletoads features a wild genre-blending gameplay style that mixes side-scrolling beat-em-ups with combat and platforming, racing, and obstacle course challenges. At the core of the gameplay, you battle through waves of enemies using punches, kicks, headbutts, and a theatrical smash-hit finisher, where your character's limbs enlarge or morph into giant boots or wrecking balls. And some of the gameplay puts you on a hover bike dodging walls and pits at high speed, which I remember being the toughest level in about any game that I've ever played. Other levels force you to navigate treacherous ice caverns, climb down towers, or even ride a unicycle while chased by a spinning orb. And most of the reviews when this came out were fairly positive. The gameplay was praised for its diversity and its addictiveness, as well as its motivating, challenging levels. In retrospect, many people think that this game is still holding up pretty well today. However, when it comes to the difficulty, Games Radar kind of phrases it best and says, "It was a fun game, but its most noticeable element was its difficulty." So this is definitely a game that you'll want to play using that rewind function on Nintendo Switch Online. Next we have Gaiden II, The Dark Sword of Chaos. This hack-and-slash platformer was released for the NES in 1990 and was developed by Tecmo. The game follows Master Ryo Hayabusa, who must stop the wicked warlord Ashtar from using the evil Dark Sword of Chaos to open the Gate of Darkness and unleash a demonic army upon the world. Along the way, Ryo races to save his captured friend and ultimately battle resurrected foes to defeat the forces of chaos and seal away the darkness. The game features side-scrolling platforming stages that they call acts, where you run, jump, and climb walls and ladders and attack enemies with a dragon sword or various projectile-style power-ups. And the game had fairly decent reviews when it came out. EGM gave it a 35 out of 40. And retrospectively, in 2007, when the game was released for the Virtual Console, GameSpot said it's one of the best examples of mean-spirited games when referring to its difficulty. Next we have Bionic Commando for the Game Boy. It was released in 1992 and published by Capcom. And the game follows the agent Rad Spencer, who is sent to rescue his ally Super Joe from the Doraz army and to stop their leader from completing the army's secret weapon project codenamed Albatross. In this particular game, the story is reimagined in a future sci-fi setting, replacing the original game's military tone with advanced armor, futuristic enemies, and cinematic opening and ending sequences that give the narrative more of a dramatic, story-driven framing. And the core gameplay revolves around using your bionic arm instead of the standard jump. You fire the arm to grapple ceilings, ledges, or grappling points, and then swing or pull yourself across gaps and up to higher platforms. Between the action stages, you also move across an overworld map using a helicopter, selecting which mission areas to undertake. Occasionally, you'll run into enemy vehicles and be forced into an overhead shooter-style combat segment instead of platforming. Now, I never played the Game Boy version of this game, but I did spend a lot of time playing the NES version, and it definitely was a lot of fun grappling to the ceiling and swinging across. And the reviews for the game when it came out were fairly decent. EGM gave it an 80 out of 100. And when the game was re-released for the Virtual Console on the 3DS, it received fairly positive reviews then as well. And then finally we have Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters. Now this was developed by Nintendo R&D 1 for the Game Boy and was released in 1991. And the game is set in the mythological realm Angel Land, which is threatened when the Princess Palantina foresees an invasion by the demon Orcus. She sends the Angel Warrior Pit on a quest to retrieve 3 sacred treasures hidden in fortified locations, and once he succeeds, Pit controls Orcus to save Angel Land and restore peace. And as Pit, you will navigate an underworld, an overworld, and skyworld stages using a bow with unlimited arrows to fight monsters, collect hearts and items, and overcome traps and obstacles. Unlike its predecessor, this game lets you move freely in all 4 directions and allows Pit to flap his wings mid-air to slow his descent, giving you more control over jumps and exploration. And when the game released, it had fairly decent reviews. A GamePro reviewer said that the game's controls were fairly precise and accurate, and gave its gameplay the maximum score of 5 out of 5 points. The game ended up being 18th in Nintendo Power's list of 20 best Game Boy games. So let me know what you think about all 4 of these games in the comments below. I have to say, of all of these, I spent the most time playing Battletoads. The game was definitely relentlessly brutal. And I did play the original Ninja Gaiden, but I haven't played the second one, or at least if I did, I don't really remember playing much about it, so I definitely want to check it out again. And as I mentioned before, I played the NES version of Bionic Commando, but never had a chance to check out this Game Boy version. So which game of these 4 do you think I should try first, and which one are you going to try first? Drop your comments below and let me know your thoughts. And if you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so. It really does help the channel out quite a bit. I want to thank you for watching, and be good.